Hi, this is Carrie Cassidy from Project Camelot. Tonight I was contacted by Anthony Sanchez, the author of UFO Highway, in regard to an investigation in Dulce, New Mexico, at the Arcoleta Mesa. Unfortunately, he has contacted a nerve agent in the process, and he wanted to discuss his finding, as well as we ended up talking about a very crucial area of investigation that involves the Chinese, a group of off-world visitors, and the near-Earth orbiting satellites, and a special secret project that Lockheed Martin is involved in called Project Leonid. Because this information is so crucial, I'm releasing this audio interview that was basically a phone call in its unedited form, except for removing the information with regard to one witness whose life would be in danger otherwise. So without further ado, I'm going to let you listen to this interview. And I have to say that because a lot of the information did cross-correlate with Project Camelot witnesses and whistleblowers, I believe that this information is very crucial to the world at this time. And this is November 4th, Friday at 3 in the morning. Thank you.
I got there on Monday, and at 8 o'clock in the morning, when I met with the tribal council president and the public relations officer, they surprisingly, they had already read what I wrote, the PDF, right?
Yeah.
And they gave me, based on that, they gave me unprecedented access to the reservation. So by 10 o'clock, I mean, literally after meeting with them, I met with the guy, and 2 hours later, we're up the top of the mesa, the Arcoleta Mesa.
Is it okay with you if I record this?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Okay. So, can you say your name and say the date? Because just in case anything happens to you, we should make sure that we have this copy of your, whenever you're talking about it.
Yeah, this is Anthony Sanchez, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning, Pacific Standard Time, November 4th, 2011. And again, I apologize about my voice, but that's the paralysis, so I'll get to that in a moment.
Okay, and this is Carrie Cassidy from Project Camelot.
Okay, so, like I said, on the 17th of October, I get a call from Jesse Ventura's people. They want me to be in Dulce on the 21st, which is a Friday. I believe 17th was a Monday. Anyway, so they wanted me there to be a part of their show, either as a consultant or whatever capacity they needed me. But I couldn't. I was not going to be arriving in Dulce until the 24th. I'm sorry about my voice. Anyway, I arrived at 2:30 a.m. in the morning in Dulce. By 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm actually meeting face-to-face with the tribal council president. I met with the public relations officer. His card, I can't remember his name offhand. But I actually gave him a copy of my book. His name was Leon K. Rivell. He's the public relations officer of the Hickory Apache Nation. Anyway, I was there at the tribal administrative facilities, tribal council administrative facilities, meeting with these guys. And I don't know what happened, but Governor Ventura was not given access to film at Dulce. They were very nice to him, but they essentially sent him off the reservation, and they put him in contact with a Bigfoot expert, somebody who's not even an expert on the Dulce facility. His name was Hoyt Velarde. And I don't know how that went, but anyway, we were given access. They gave us unprecedented access to the reservation. The only thing we were not allowed to do was to interview people on the reservation. They wanted us to interview them off the reservation. I don't know why that was the case, but we had we conducted a series of interviews in Taos, which is, not too far from Dulce. Back in Dulce, we were allowed to film anywhere we wanted to go, so long as we had a member of the nation with us. I had a 7-year veteran police officer of the Hickory Police Department, Hickory Apache Police Department, as our guide. He's now a professional hunter, or hunting guide, and he took us up to the mesa. It took a couple hours to get, up to where we needed to go. Here, we discovered U.S. government property up there on the mesa. We're the first investigative research team to discover U.S. government property, military-grade material. So, I don't know if that's what caused this, but later that evening, I don't know what happened. I had a severe headache. The next day I'm in Taos, it escalates. The pain is so bad, I just can't deal with it. The following morning, I wake up with 12 paralysis on my face. I go to the hospital there, and they initially think I have a stroke. Then they tell me, no, I don't have a stroke. I don't even have high blood pressure. For the reason they tell me I'm not even pre-diabetic. I informed them that I had surgery 20 years ago to remove a benign substance from my inner ear. They do a CT scan, and they see some remnants of the previous procedure from 20 years ago still there, but they're not concerned about that. Then they think I have something called Bell's palsy, but they weren't sure because it's just nothing was fitting right with the way this all came about, the paralysis. And back in California, I go to the doctor, I had a blood test taken. They're concerned about the remnants of the surgery. They don't know if it's a reoccurrence of this benign substance. But anyway, they went on a blood test, and here's what really sucks. When the blood test came back, they came back positive for some type of neurological toxin or bioagent.
Wow.
They said that if it had been ant poison or wasp poison or something to that effect, it would have a chemical signature that they can identify. They can't identify what this is. The one doctor says, I swear to God, these are his exact words. He says, it almost appears as if it's some military-grade neuroagent.
Oh, wow, yeah. Incredible.
So now I have paralysis, and the bad news is that it's not Bell's palsy, which they said to me would have been good news if it had been Bell's palsy because it can cure itself over time. But anyway, that's what I am right now.
I don't understand. Can you back up and explain what happened to you, what you came in contact with that might have caused this? In other words, you were saying you got to a certain area of the reservation. What area was that? And what is it that you came across specifically?
I went to 3 areas when I was in Dulce. First, we went to Dulce Rock to investigate why there's so many UFO sightings over Dulce Rock. Then we went to Mount Archuleta. This is not the Mesa, Mount Archuleta, which is off to the east. Anyway, or the disoriented. But what we found was on the Archuleta Mesa. We went up to the plateau. As soon as we reached the plateau of the Mesa, we encountered a UFO crash site from 1996 where we walked around, we took photographs, and then we analyzed this area which I call Shadow Ridge, which I believe is the possibility for an entrance to the Dulce facility. But we were just less than 1,600 feet away from the radio towers when I spotted on the corner of my eye of peripheral vision 2 strange objects. They were about 5 feet by 5 feet, wide, and they were maybe 4 feet tall. They were containers. They were military containers. They were military grade. They had plated serial information with federal serial numbers on them. And they were
did you take photographs? Did you take photographs?
Yes, I did. I took high definition video, and I got high definition 60 megapixel photographs of these.
Okay, did you put it on your website? Did you put it on your website?
It's not on my website yet, but I have already sent it to Mel Fabregas and I sent it to Jerry Pippin, and I actually showed an entire audience of people at the AXPE event on the 30th, which was a Sunday, during my presentation in Dulce. I was already suffering from paralysis at that point on my face, but I went ahead with the presentation anyway, and I showed the images there.
Okay, good. So yes, please send that to me, however you can do it.
As soon as we're done talking, I'm going to email it to you. The strange thing is that Norio had a car. I think it was Norio, I don't remember who, somebody in my party realized that these were containers for jet engines. We identified them as F5 jet engines. Now the F5, curiously, is from the 60s and 70s. This is an older jet technology. But it would make sense whether, they've been there since, the reported, firefighting, the 79 era. Here's the most important aspect to all of this. What the hell is it doing up there on sovereign Indian land? It is completely out of place. My guide says he's never seen it before. And I'm like, well, it's right there in plain sight. It's under a tree, and right behind it, about 30 feet behind it, is another one. And he says he swears that he's never seen these there before. So whether they were put there recently, I don't know. But what it confirms to me is that the U.S. government, specifically the military, is up there in Dulce. Now, here's a bit of information that you need to know. This guy, in June of this year, 2011, took 2 members of the Phoenix Suns basketball team up there on a hunting trip. This is what he does for a living now. When they were up there, and I have the names of the basketball players too, by the way. When they were up there, they were confronted by 3 men in military, outfits. He could not make out what branch of the military they were. But they had sidearms and they had AR-15 rifles. They approached them and they told them, you need to vacate the premises. You are violating a restricted area. And the guy told them, oh no, this is Hickoria Apache land, it's sovereign land, and I have every right to be here. I'm a Hickoria. And they told him, no, today it is a restricted area and you need to leave. And they pointed their guns at him. So they left. This is all documented. This is crazy, Jerry. I met, oh God, there's just a lot of strange things going on, not to mention the fact that I'm now paralyzed in the face, after conducting all this investigative work up there. That's why I'm calling you, because I fear for my life. I got back home. My office is compromised here. I've been videotaping my computer system because somebody has tampered with my computer. My speakers are emitting these digital signals and these strange sounds. And I swear I've heard the words Dulce, I've heard the word Neil as in Bill Air Force Base, and Kirtland as in Kirtland Air Force Base. Either they're messing with my head, trying to make me paranoid. I don't know. It's just, there's a lot going on right now, and I'm just,
okay, they're probably doing some mind control stuff going. So what is it that you're trying to get at? Because, I mean, with all due respect, we know there's a base underground at Dulce. So are you trying to prove it? Is that your angle? Why is it that we're up there?
I was up there because I'm trying to find proof of the existence of the facility. What I did find was U.S. government property. They should not be there. I also received testimony with witnesses present. Janet Saylor of the Access Organization was present when I was interviewing the chief of police. Again, I can't tell you from where. When he admitted to there being a facility on the southwest portion of the Archuleta Mesa, he said he was helicoptered in, and he saw he was not helicoptered in. He knows the 2 individuals who were helicoptered in 1979 who admitted to him that there is a holographic entrance on the southwest portion of the Archuleta Mesa. He also stated that beneath the radio towers there's a holographic entrance, and that they have seen craft repeatedly come and go from this entrance to the facility. Now, this is key information that I'm sharing with you here. I have have the identities of the two information who were at the facility in 1979. One of them was a New Mexico State police officer, and no, it was not Gabe Valdez. And the other one was a high-ranking law enforcement officer from the Hickory assassination. I have both of their names. I want to give you their names, Kerry, but I want to do it off this recording. I cannot give you their names on this recording, but I will give them to you in private off the recording. Because you need to know their names because they were real, they were there, and they admitted to this guy himself, chief of police, that they were there.
Okay, now, but you have already said something on this recording that you don't want me to release, right? So I'm going to need to go back and cut out that part. Is that correct?
Maybe, yeah. I don't even know. I'm so tired right now. There's so much pain. My head is...
Okay, I want to try to get you some help. So I will try to find some healers because I have, I know people that have access to various healing techniques, and it's very likely that we can try to cure you of this. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I did meet with some healers when I was in house, but I'm telling you, it just all came about so quickly, and I couldn't even drive home. I had to have a friend drive me home. I drove 22 and a half straight hours from Northern California to Dulce without braking, stopping for a break, and then the same when I came home, 22 and a half hours each way. It was just insane.
Okay.
And I went from essentially sea level to 13,000 feet elevation when I moved to Taos, 9,500 feet elevation in Dulce. So it's just, I'm telling you, something's going on.
Okay. Anthony, if we release this, I can put this on Camelot. You will get a great deal of notice. Do you want that? Because it's possible there will be healers will contact me as well through Camelot.
That's the whole purpose of this. I'm trying to let people know that there is something in Dulce, that I spoke to somebody who actually worked there, that I received so much validation from 3 different families, 11 people who were former law enforcement, law enforcement employees in Dulce for the Hickory assassination, and one of them is the current chief of police elsewhere, not in Dulce, but elsewhere, but right there in northern New Mexico, who is a Hickory Indian, by the way. So,
okay.
Yeah, I need this information out there. That's what this is for. And now I'm paying the price for it with my health, and it's just...
Okay. Yeah, I think the most important thing is for you to get healed right away. So I will send out some notice about this. But is there anything else while I have you on this recording that you want to talk about? Because obviously this will be a good moment for you to get the word out on anything you're investigating.
There's a lot of information that I have right now. But with respect to Dulce, the only other thing that I have is this crash site that we found and we surveyed, where apparently a 150-foot diameter copper disc smashed into a side of a hill there, and we saw it, we found it. There's a 300-wide section of columnar basalt, half of which is now gone. And when you study the impact, you notice that the columnar basalt is dispersed in a sliding pattern, in a downward sliding pattern, and all the trees are knocked over. Now, this is what I was told by these witnesses. They said that in 1996, when they viewed this, that it was during the evening, immediately black SUVs were all over the mesa. They created a perimeter around the crash site, and they started excavating they started removing the crash evidence. They also, with the assistance, but under the direct authority of the military, the Hickory police force went from home to home confiscating cameras of any sort. All the cameras, is what I was told, were returned without film or with deleted, with deleted media. So what happened and what was that copper disc that these people saw? Was it gray craft? Was it, was it experimental military craft? I don't know, but these people felt threatened. And I had 3 separate families who I conducted interviews with that verified this information, and the story was the same from family to family. So again, something's happening there in Dulce. But the artifacts that I discovered up there, these are jet engine containers, just 1,600 feet away from the radio towers. What are they doing up there? Most importantly, what does it prove? It proves that the U.S. military is up there. What capacity? I don't know.
Okay. What's interesting is, if I understand it correctly, what you may have gotten in contact with is a nerve agent, they said, and that there was a nerve agent in the containers, and what you might have, did you touch the containers?
Yes, my hands were all over the containers.
Jeez, okay.
Yeah. And one of the things that Dave Valdez said before he passed away, and so I cannot believe I did not heed his advice. He said, do not touch the cattle, the mutilated cattle. He said, do not touch them. Do not touch any of the evidence near the mutilated cattle. And these jet containers happen to be right next to a cattle pasture up there at the plateau.
Right. Okay. Did anyone else touch them?
No, just me.
Oh, God.
Just me. My partner, Rick Prestel from Sacramento MUFON, was using a high-def video camera and he was filming it. So, no, I'm the only one that touched it. And the guide wouldn't go near them. He wouldn't go near them.
Right.
He stayed in his truck and he warned me not to film him. He warned me not to film him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I respect the warning.
Okay.
I was afraid. He was definitely afraid of something.
So are these things something that you're saying would have been carried on a jet in the 60s, or because you're saying they're containers.
They're big box metal containers that are used to ship jet engines.
Oh. But why would they contain nerve agent?
I don't know. I don't know that they contain nerve agent, but maybe the surrounding area did. I know that Dave Valdez said, don't ever touch the cattle. That they identified substances in the cattle, and they know that they were bioagents or something. I think they identified ricin at one point, anthrax at another point, and he said, don't touch them. And what did I do? I touched these containers, but I don't know that the containers are the source of, what I have. I don't know.
Okay. As far as this recording is concerned, again, do you want me to go back and delete the part about, that you mentioned, that you want to delete it? Do you want me to go back and delete that before I release this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I don't want any mention of, if I mention any names, I don't want to mention too much.
Okay, fine.
Haley, this is what I can't stand about investigating and doing research on Dulce. Nobody wants to come out. Nobody wants their names known, especially the Korea. For them, it's cultural, because they're American Indian, and they have these very strong convictions and beliefs, and they just don't like, coming out with stuff. And there's other people who are not Korea, who are from New Mexico, who are just deathly afraid to talk. Why is everybody afraid to talk? Listen, I've been harassed by Bill Air Force Base AMOSI Detachment 218 twice already. This year, I've been harassed by them. My house has been broken into. I have terabyte, hard drive has been stolen from my property. So something's going on. And now I have this paralysis to deal with on my face from some neurological agent, bioagent. So, this information has to get out there.
Okay. All right. Anthony, if there's anything else you want to say about your overall investigations, because, we have been in touch, and of course I'm happy to meet with you at any time. I actually just got back from India. I'm very jet lagged at this moment, which is why I'm awake. But I'm happy to meet with you, and we can film this in a more formal setting if you wish. But as far as what's going on with you, what other investigations you've been part of recently that could have any bearing on what is happening to you, why your place was broken into. In other words, because what you don't know what is linked to what, right?
Well, I can tell you this. Whoever stole my hard drive now knows everything about the other investigation that I've been conducting. I have found evidence, based on information that was provided to me from one of my sources who worked at Lockheed Martin, that we're developing some type of a system, a low Earth orbiting system, a defense system, to combat this, this space war that's going to be conducted between the Chinese and us. But here's the interesting thing. It's a very complex tale, okay? It's not about us versus the Chinese. This is not a human versus human war that I'm being told about. They're telling me that the Chinese are being used as puppets as some higher level group, this alien human hybrid group. I know it sounds crazy, Carrie.
No, actually, no, I have whistleblower testimony to this effect.
Yes. So they have, oh my God, so they're...
That exact thing, I have been told by a very credible whistleblower. Now, at least a year ago, that a new race of beings has come into our area of the galaxy, and that they are backing the Chinese, and that they are trying to put the Chinese in charge of the world.
Well, this is the reason why. Now, this is what I've been told, but it could have been any one of the three superpowers. And the three superpowers, look, there's only three countries to worry about: the United States, the Russians, and the Chinese. I was told that the Chinese met all the prerequisites. One, they decimated their ecology. They have no fresh water. They've been buying fresh water from the Argentines and the Brazilians as a commodity. They have no natural resources. Their entire population lives along their coastline. They have created this massive level of deforestation that has turned all the central part of the country into essentially a desert. So they have systematically been lowering, keeping their currency at a lower value over the past 20 years. And then at that same time, they've used their communist structure to subjugate their people such that school children, the prisoners, and the elderly, just about everybody, and stands their new emerging middle class, has been working in the manufacturing sector. Why? So that they can essentially, flood the global market with their products. What does that do? While they maintain this lowered level of, this low level of their currency, they are yet becoming extremely wealthy. The United States is already $14 trillion in debt to the Chinese. There's no gold in the U.S., gold reserve. We already know that. We have people that have outright told us they haven't seen gold in Fort Knox since the 1970s. Why is that important? Because the Chinese, since 2009, have been conducting a campaign to get various countries off of the international dollar standard. Why? Because the minute they do that, they're going to trigger a financial collapse. The dollar is going to collapse, and we're going to see a domino effect where all these other countries are going to slide into these deep economic depressions. And what that's going to do is it's going to open the doors for countries like the United States. We're going to have to open the doors and allow the Chinese to come in essentially as our overlords. But listen, this is not about racism, it's about nationalism. I'm being told, I keep thinking, it's us against the Chinese, and this contact of mine is saying, you've got to get outside this human versus human paradigm. He says that the Chinese are being controlled by Li Ka-shing out of Hong Kong. He's the most richest person in all of Asia, and he's a part of this Illuminati bloodline. He owns the Chinese Communist government. He practically owns the Chinese military. Another scary fact that he told me is that the Chinese military has 200 million men, whereas the combined forces of the United States alone is barely at 500,000 men and women. It's a scary thought. In 2007, they demonstrated that they could essentially blast a satellite out of low Earth orbit. And, that was a demonstration to us because they know that we're developing this new project, which I will tell you about later. This is that low Earth orbiting, defense project that I was telling you about. This person from Lockheed Martin was, informed me of it. It's a very important project. The other thing is that they demonstrated that their stealth technology is now as sophisticated as our own. They sailed in the submarine. They used one of their submarines to penetrate a classified naval exercise, and then they bragged about it afterwards, and it scared the hell out of our military brass because now they know, hey, they're almost on equal footing with us. So there's a lot of information that I have here, but I need to put it in the proper context.
Okay, but we are recording this, Anthony, and this is an opportunity to at least open the doors in this regard. And I'm very interested because some of your information is cross-correlating with my whistleblower testimony. So that makes it all the more important because if there is indeed an invading race of beings that are controlling the Chinese, then people need to know about that. And
the reason why they selected the Chinese is, one, they met all the prerequisites with Q. Two, the Chinese, remember, this is all being done to facilitate an arrival event. At the end of 2012 is we're going to see a mass landing of these ET visitors. Okay, now here's the thing. 2012 marks the execution phase for this arrival plan, and it's going to culminate in 2015. Now, I'm hearing two stories here so far, though. There's two possible outcomes. So far, I've heard the first one is that they're going to enact a depopulation campaign to bring the world's population down to 500 million. Bear in mind that the Chinese military alone is 200 million. I was told that the Chinese are going to kill their own people first. This is what I was told. They're literally going to kill their own people first. There's going to be plans for a 200 million strong elitist population. These are these alien human hybrids. They look like us, they walk like us, they talk like us. And then there's going to be 100 million normal humans who are going to be the slave class for these elitists that are going to remain. So,
okay, when you say, let me stop you right there, okay, because you're making several claims here, and I need to get a little bit more of the background behind the claims. So, when you say there is going to be an arrival event at the end of 2012, who told you this, and why are you convinced that this is correct?
Because this engineer worked at Lockheed Martin. He worked on a project called LEON, Low Earth Orbit Nanosatellite Interceptor Defense. It's a system of nanosatellites that are in low Earth orbit. It uses alien technology. It is highly sophisticated, and there's a fleet of ships, of small ships, that use telemetry that comes in from the satellite network to protect to protect the United States and its allies from chickens, incoming ICBMs, and and this is what he says, from ships that are coming into our orbit, to our Earth orbit from outer space. This is what I'm told.
Okay, well that makes sense. So this particular engineer obviously they're still alive?
He's still alive. He's no longer part of Lockheed Martin. He's AWOL. Let me tell you something. When I met with him outside of an abandoned McDonald's in Mountain Field in Mountain View, California. And it was the reason why he took me there. When he put in a parking spot. And he said, this is the very spot where my best friend, a fellow engineer, supposedly shot himself in the head.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that story. Because I'm from the Bay Area, so that story stuck in my mind. That was a very suspicious story. Yeah, okay, go on.
So, we met there. We began talking at 1 o'clock in the morning, and by 4 o'clock, I was over there in the Bay Area. I was driving in from Sacramento. It was Adams that I meet him in person, and that's where we met. So, one by one, they've been killing off engineers. Those people that wanted to come forth and, anyone that asked questions about the project that they were developing mysteriously disappeared or are found dead. So once he realized he was next, because he couldn't keep his mouth shut, he decided to go AWOL.
Okay, is he safe at this time?
He is safe. He is safe. As a matter of fact, he's very safe.
Okay.
And he also told me that it took them 3 years, but they have a Chinese defector who has been feeding them information about what is happening over there in China and what they're planning. So this is how he got all this information before he left that project.
Right. Okay. So you're saying Lockheed Martin or just a group associated with him got this defector to give them information?
His group was from Lockheed Martin, but they worked with the Department of Defense.
Okay. Wow. Well, this is very explosive information that you've given me here. And I have to say that, again, it correlates with my whistleblower testimony. There's another aspect, which is on an intuitive level, that I have been given information that the satellites are a very key to what's going to be happening in the future. And that the satellites...
There's a danger. The reason why they're coming out about this project, first of all, you have to ask yourself this. Why would they be disclosing the foundation of this project? Supposedly is in the interest of protecting us. Well, they went kind of haywire with it, and it's no longer exactly a safe project to be operating. These things are self-autonomous. The craft are self-autonomous. They use artificial intelligence to make decisions on their own. Just take Skynet from the Predator movie, or from the Terminator movie.
Exactly.
The other thing you need to understand is that these nanosatellites are self-repairable and self-replicatable.
Wow.
And I have all the technical specifications that you need to know exactly how it's done. I have them all.
You're kidding.
No, I have all of it.
Okay, well that's actually it. I mean, right there, I have to say, because I was given this information about the satellites, and that actually they're going to be shot down at a certain point. But by what?
You want to know where this technology came from? Dulce. It came out of Dulce. This is part of a technology exchange program with the Grays at Dulce, who gave this technology, gave this knowledge to Lockheed Martin and several other defense contractors, a list of who I have.
Okay. Incredible. All right. As far as this goes, and as far as your contact with regard to this, does he talk about the race of beings, who they are, where they came from, anything like that?
Yep. This is the progenitor race that the Greys mentioned. And these are essentially now here's another thing that I needed to share with you. Remember I mentioned that Chinese defector? Remember I mentioned the Chinese defector? Hello?
The Chinese defector?
Yeah, remember I mentioned the Chinese defector that they have?
Yes.
He told them that there is a possibility, and there's a real concern among these alien human hybrids, that when these progenitors return, that they're actually going to kill off this alien hybrid race that exists here on the planet.
Why do they think that?
What he says is that there's a strong possibility that this progenitor race is returning to Earth. They're going to kill off the alien human hybrids, and they're going to dismantle all nuclear stockpiles on Earth. That they're going to prevent us from killing ourselves, and that they're not going to allow this depopulation campaign to occur. Listen, one of the things that this guy told me is that he had a conversation with this Chinese defector before he got the program, and the Chinese defector pointed out to him, he says, you know, this whole concept of we're overpopulating the world is complete BS, because if you took every human being alive and placed them in the state of Texas, there would be enough room for them to live there. You realize that? That's what he told this guy. So, you have to put all of this in perspective. He's saying that this propaganda that's being fed to all of these people with respect to, oh, the world is being overpopulated, you know, we have to kill one another. You know, listen, the United States has a nuclear stockpile which can destroy the planet any time over.
Right.
You're aware of that. Now, when you put it into perspective, the South Africans, the Indians, the Pakistanis, the North Koreans, the Chinese, the English, the Israelis, the French, Jesus, how many countries have nuclear stockpiles? So, what he says is that this Chinese is giving them information and saying that they're now thinking of turning this technology, of commandeering this leading technology. The Chinese are trying to figure out a way to commandeer this technology away from the United States and use it to possibly, in the event that these arriving progenitors are going to kill them off, they use it against them. So it's just a very complex web of information. Remember, the Greys were created by these progenitors.
Right.
Who's to say that there's not a backdoor, you know, system in place with this Leonid project, which was technology that's been given to these U.S. defense contractors and Hitachi out of Japan, who's part of this whole project. Maybe the Greys are, you know, making it so that these arriving parties are going to be able to commandeer it, or I don't know. There's just so much information, and I have all of it, and I'm compiling it right now. I'm going to try and get this information out in 2 months' time.
Okay, now this whole subject is, you know, gone from the Dulce subject to the Chinese and to this race of beings, etc., which you're calling the progenitors, which is, again, this is what your colonel, isn't it? Wasn't he a colonel that your witness in your book, UFO Highway, was talking about as well? He referred to them as progenitors, isn't that right?
That's right. That's right.
Okay. But at this point, this is okay to release as part of this interview that we're doing right here?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything else about this race of beings that you know that we could include here that would clarify their relationship with the Chinese and possibly what they may be planning and the timing of it?
Well, I know that at the end of 2012 is when this mass landing is supposed to occur. This is what I'm being told. And there's nothing we can do about it. It's going to happen. That's what I'm being told. It will mark the execution phase of this plan for this arrival event, and it will culminate by 2015.
Okay, who will land?
These progenitors. These are... Why don't you just call them Anunnaki?
Okay. What do they look like? Do you know?
I don't know. The colonel gave me information with what the progenitors are supposed to look like. That's all I have to go on.
Okay, this sort of, I don't know, is Leonid the top secret name of the Lockheed Martin program for these low Earth orbiting satellite, nanosatellites?
Yeah,
okay.
Leonid.
But you do know that this is also the name of the man who was, we believe, a plant anyway, who supposedly discovered Elenin.
No.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And that supposedly Elenin is also associated with Leonid. So I don't know the status on Elenin. I have to get in touch with Richard Hoagland, who I'm going to be talking with shortly. But he's going to be very, very interested to hear that the code name of this particular project is Leonid. That actually, that may be a key to unlocking what this craft, which is a craft, Leonid, a planetoid, a directed planetoid, whether it was destroyed, split in half, whether it's still in our solar system or not, I don't know. I know it supposedly still is, but...
Well, Leonid is a multifaceted weapon system. It comprises many parts. There's not just one part to it. You have this nanosatellite network. You have a parent satellite network called Mother, which is above it, which provides resources to the nanosatellites. I'll explain more of that to you in a later time. There is the X-47B type craft that they're using called interceptors. Remember the X-37B went into orbit? This is the scale model of the space shuttle that is owned by the Air Force. Do you recall that?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah. There was a scale model, the craft. It looks like a scale model of the space shuttle. It's called the X-37B. It spent 287 days in low Earth orbit. You recall that? It's owned by the Air Force. They wouldn't tell you what it was doing out there for 287 days.
Okay, yes.
You can take a guess as to what it was doing out there for 287 days.
So you're suggesting that perhaps it was, I don't know.
It was deploying the basis for the nanosatellite network. Yes, it was. I met a woman.
Okay, wait one second. Okay, wait 1 second. It was deploying the bases for the nanosatellite network? You mean, in other words...
the foundation, the groundwork for the nanosatellite network, and not the nanosatellites themselves.
Okay. Is it possible that there are space platforms that were put in place as well?
Remember, yes, there's a parent network of satellites called Mother already up there, and they provide resources and materials for these nanosatellites, which are self-replicatable and self-repairable.
Okay, when you're talking about this, you were just about to say that you met a woman. Can you continue?
I met a woman whose husband was a software engineer also at Lockheed Martin. He was part of the program. He is now missing. Before he went missing, he had told his wife that they had successfully launched the nanosatellite network that he was developing. He was working on the low-level language structures of these nanosatellites so that they could communicate.
Okay, is it possible, are you still in touch with her? Would she want to go on the record or not?
No, she is completely out of the picture.
Okay, and what about her husband? Has he been found? Is he missing permanently? How long has he been gone?
My source says he's dead.
Okay.
And this has been since 2009. Right? So, whoever it is returning, maybe the graves. It was so steamy that we're accepting technology from these graves for this critical defense system that we're going to put it into orbit and not expect that there might be some type of a backdoor entry for whoever is arriving to understand the technology and how to take it over and use it against them?
Absolutely. Well, that's all very true.
Yeah, we need to be aware of that. So, I mean, it's important that we understand what danger we're possibly putting ourselves in.
Okay, well, let me again bring up a whistleblower, Mr. X. We called him Mr. X. He actually died suddenly of a heart attack a year or two ago. And he was a person who had investigated. He had worked for a military company in which he was correlating data from their records that basically the data led to the fact that the Greys were here, that our military was interacting with them, and that they said there was an event coming in 2012 that was a kind of a landing event. So that is another piece of information that you're revealing that cross-correlates with one of our whistleblowers. Now, we believe that he was taken out. This is not commonly known, but it is something that we have mentioned on occasion. And now what you're saying actually leads me to believe that this is the reason he was taken out, is because he had this information.
Sounds like he knew. And this is the reason why I called you tonight, Harry. Somebody did something to me. My face is paralyzed, and it's not Bell's palsy. It's not from a stroke. I don't have any infection of any kind that could cause this. Somebody did something to me. The blood tests are positive that I have been, subjected to some type of a neurological violation. That's what they're telling me. They can't even identify if it were ant poison or wasp poison or something commercial grade. They would be able to identify it with chemical signature. What I have in my system, they don't know what the hell it is, but they know it's attacking the nerves in my face. It makes me think back to this Ukrainian president that was subjected to some type of, poison or something by the KGB just recently.
Okay. Okay, so I am going to try to find help for you right away, and in the meantime, I will try to actually release this, and I believe I need to go back. I'm not the greatest audio editor in the world, but I will go back and try to take out the piece that you asked me to take out. In the meantime, if people want to reach you, how can they reach you in order to contact you in regard to healers they may know of, et cetera, et cetera?
There, at my website, ufohighway.com, there's a button there that says Contact Us. There is a secure form that is 100% anonymous. It's 100% confidential. I never disclose that data to anyone. Whoever contacts me, their privacy is paramount. So there's a form there that they use. It goes directly to me. It goes directly to my email, a secured email address. They just go to my website, ufohighway.com, and click on the Contact Us button. They can reach me.
Okay. So is there anything else that you want to add here to this discussion? And if not, then what I want to say here is that we should do this in person, Anthony, and have this exact same discussion with whatever else you would like in person. So please do contact me tomorrow or as soon as you feel able, and let's set that up.
It's amazing that we were able to come outside of the Dulce periphery and into this whole Chinese matter so easily. But there's a ton of Dulce data that I have still, but we could do that another time. One thing I would like to point out is that it's November 4th right now. But by the first week of January in 2012, I am planning to release all the information that I have on this Chinese matter. It's a major issue. It's going to affect the entire planet, and I have so much more information that we didn't cover. But the first week of January, I'm releasing that information, either through my website, either through a PDF, either through I don't know, but everything that I have is going to be made public. Okay. Right now, somebody's done something to me that's affecting my health. I need to circumvent whatever's happening to me so that I can reach my goal of getting my information out.
Okay, could you please get that information to, you need to send it out to 12 individuals that you trust and ask them to hold on to it, that in the event that anything happens to you, they need to go public, okay? So these should be as high profile and as trustworthy individuals as you can possibly come across, but you should do that immediately if you haven't already done so.
I'll do it soon.
Okay.
As soon as possible.
Okay, thank you. Well, Anthony, I'd love to see you get healed right away from this this nerve agent or whatever it is that you've come in contact with. In the meantime, I think that this kind of dialogue between researchers is so important because you see how we can cross-correlate the information that we've got, because when it's unsubstantiated, it stands alone. But when you start getting multiple witnesses coming forward from completely different directions, and they all say the same thing, then people have to sit up and take notice.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So thank you.
All right. You take care, and let's be in touch.
Awesome. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.